Welcome back to Started from the Bottom. I am your host, Susan Peterson. Today, I'm super excited. We have Connor Rawle in studio. Connor, what is your title at Forerunners for Life? Wait, forerunnerlifestyle.com.
Yeah, it's mainly just CEO, I guess, with some marketing mixed in there.
Connor Rawle is the CEO of forerunnerlifestyle.com with an emphasis on marketing. Okay, love it. How did you get started, Connor?
It's kind of a weird story. So I drove a 4Runner in high school, and then when I got married, I was driving like a nicer car, and it was like time to get something a little bit more practical and that fit my lifestyle better. So I got another 4Runner, a new one, and I was just going to keep it stock, just keep it how it was. And then it's really addicting. I started looking to different things I want to do to it, to off-road and camp and stuff like that. And so I went to Instagram, of course, to get inspiration from other people's 4Runner builds. And there was a lot of Instagram accounts that were reposting other people's cars. And so I was like, well, I could start one and just kind of interact with the community because I didn't think they were posting really good quality photos. But it honestly seemed like it was too late to get into it. And that was probably 2016 or 2017. And like all these other accounts were popping. So I felt like maybe it was too late to get into it. But I started an Instagram account called 4Runner Lifestyle where I just reposted other people's cars because my 4Runner was stock. And so no one really got any inspiration from it when you're stock. And so I started doing that, and I was just in college and reposting stuff and had no intention of making a business out of it. It was just a passion thing. But by the time I graduated from college, I had like 70,000 followers. And at that point, it was like time to get a real job and stuff. And so I just got a regular corporate job. But in my mind, I was thinking, I better do something with this account. Like if you can't monetize 70,000 followers, like you're probably an idiot. So,
Did you graduate in marketing?
Just a general business management degree.
Okay. Yeah, no, it would be hard not to monetize 70,000 followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
No. Okay, so you get a real job. And then what happened?
So yeah, I start working, but I was seriously probably like 80% working on like an idea. And I had like a bunch of different ideas that I could do with my account. So I would just go to work, I'd get my stuff done, just kind of work on little things on the side. And I would go home and just work on my ideas, how to monetize the account. And at the same time, my younger brother, Carson, he was building up a Tacoma one. And he probably...
A Tacoma Instagram account?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he had like 40 or 50,000 followers on his at that point. Then neither of us had intentions of building business out of it when we made them. And
you guys are just into 4Runners.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was into Tacomas.
It's like, so Toyotas, basically. Yeah. So it's like a cult following, right? Like my attorney, he's my age, so he's like 44. He still has a 4Runner that he bought right out of high school.
Really?
Yes. And he's very successful. And so like 22 plus years, like what is it about 4Runners or Toyotas?
I don't know. It's just something about their reliability too, where they go forever and people are really passionate about it. And so there's just something about it. And they have a big history with Land Cruisers from the beginning. And so they have like a long history of off-roading.
Okay.
And so I don't know. There's like something intangible about it though, I feel like.
Yeah, because at the time you were building like your Instagram accounts, you're saying like 2017, 2018, it's hard to grow on Instagram during those years.
Yeah.
And so to grow to be 50,000, 70,000, like that's impressive. It also means that people need a community around those two topics and they're craving that community.
Yeah, you're totally right. And it was way different back then, 100%, where you're only posting photos and you're really, really utilizing hashtags for people to find you. and your feed are just people you follow. And so
Yeah.
getting discovered is
Chronologically.
difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it was a long grind. And if I had started intending to build a business with it, I probably would have stopped. But because I was passionate about it, I'm like, oh, well, I don't really care how fast it grows. I just want to interact with people, and I'm passionate about it and figure out what I want to do to build out my car.
Yeah.
So
At this time too, now you have 70,000 followers. Had you started putting stuff on your car?
yeah, I'd started putting little things on it that, little tiny mods and stuff. I put a roof rack on it and some LED lights and stuff. Just a few little things, but I didn't have the money to put a ton of stuff into it. And I'd hit up brands and be like, hey, I've got 70,000 followers. I'll like put this on my car. I'll repost my car a lot and like drive people to your site. And I really would, but they wouldn't even respond to you, or
They didn't
would just say
understand
no.
influencer marketing.
Yeah, they didn't get it. And I feel like they were all doing really well. And so they didn't care. And they got hit up by a lot of people. But I'm sitting there thinking, gosh, I've got 70,000 followers. You really don't want to work with me because no one in our space had that many followers.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't really care to.
Wild. Okay. So you're sitting there with 120,000 followers between the two of you.
Yeah. And then my brother, he starts working like a big job at this investment company. And it was like his dream job. But at the time, I'm like, hey, let's do something together. And so
This is your younger brother, Connor.
Carson.
Sorry.
Yeah, Connor Carson kind of.
Jeez, you guys. Does your mom get your names right? Did she get them right growing up?
She gets them right, but she'll never call me Carson on accident. She'll call me Karn.
That's cute.
She'll literally mix it together and has no idea what she's saying, and she'll call me and him Karn on accident.
Your mom is one of my favorite people ever.
Oh, good.
I really love her.
Thank you.
She's a sweetie.
She speaks highly of you.
She's the best. Okay.
So we decide, okay, we should do something together. Like, we both have these followers. Let's come together to build a business, to build an online business. And he had seen someone that made a similar type business, but just for Tacomas, like a whole website that sold all types of Tacoma accessories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sourcing their own products, but they're reselling other people's stuff too.
Yeah.
And in the Toyota space, a big thing right now is called overlanding. It's like a mix of camping and off-roading. So people will go hours and hours on the trails and stuff and camp along the way. Sometimes like 3 days, 4 day, even 5 day trips. And that was just starting to get really, really popular. But there wasn't an overland specific website. And so we're like, let's get together, push both of our accounts to a website, and we called it Overland Depot, to be all overland stuff. And so Toyota guys are way big into overlanding, even bigger than Jeep people. And overland's gotten so big since then. This was 2019. Overlanding has gotten so big since then that even car companies have overland edition cars. Land Rover sells rooftop tents on some of their Defenders, just right out of the showroom floor with rooftop tents. And so we jumped on that wave, and like it immediately got a good amount of traffic, and it immediately started doing good.
Wow. And then how did you transition from overland to Forerunner lifestyle?
So, yeah, we had the Overland Depot Instagram and website, and then the Forerunner Lifestyle Instagram, the Tacoma Lifestyle Instagram. So Forerunner Tacoma would just push people to the Overland website, but we got a lot of people in our DMs, and it was doing well. We had a lot of people in our DMs saying, hey, are you guys like affiliates of them? Or, you know, they message us. They had no idea that we're like, actually, we are them. And it got a little bit confusing. And I think it was like 8 or 9 months in, and the company's doing good. And I mean, it's growing. But the Tacoma sales weren't very good. And we couldn't figure out why. We're like, why are the Tacoma sales on Overland Depot not doing as good as the Forerunner sales? And so we looked at it, and we kind of figured out okay, well, if someone has a Tacoma, they're 100% going to be into their Tacoma. Like they'd want to do different accessories on it or just make it look cooler, and they don't really care to off-road. So if they have a Tacoma, they're 100% going to be into their Tacoma, but they might not be into overlanding. And so it was like a big decision to pivot at that point and break off Tacoma lifestyle on its own, to its own website, and leave 4Runner where it's at, and then just see how Tacoma goes, because at that point there was just nothing to lose. So we broke off Tacoma lifestyle, which kind of seemed crazy at the time. It was a big decision because the Overland website was doing pretty good. And within a week, Tacoma lifestyle had more sales than Overland Depot.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So like niching down. So then did you then niche down in 4Runner lifestyle?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like immediately, okay, that's the move. Like everyone's reacting to it. Everyone is reposting it. Everyone is stoked about it. We have to do that for 4Runner lifestyle too. And so we broke off 4Runner lifestyle to its own website, Tacoma lifestyle to its own website, and Overland Depot, which is now like a little baby that we don't really nurture very well. So
Yeah, but it's really smart because you took this very niche topic and you kind of like broadened it. Because if you're into like 4Runner lifestyle, then maybe you're into overlanding, but you're also wanting the stickers and the lights and the ladder and the little, what's a little spout thing at the front?
yeah, snorkel.
The snorkel.
Yeah.
But you also might overland. And so you kind of, a lot of people get more specific, but you guys found, hey, let's get broader around just the whole vehicle. And then that can be part of it, but we're going to pull back a little.
Yeah, totally. And a lot of people thought, oh, you're crazy. Like overlanding's this big, huge wave, and you're selling stuff for all types of cars on Overland Depot, not just Toyota stuff. Like we were selling things for other vehicles too. But when we just went right into our niche, just like 4Runners and Tacomas, it was crazy. And it was honestly the best decision we ever made. And I felt like if we were stubborn about it and didn't want to change our tactic and didn't want to, because our customers, they were going to the Overland Depot website, but buying like little stupid things that weren't even related to overlanding that we had on the site. And so we were almost fighting them. Like, hey, no, you do want a roof rack. No, you want this, you want that. And they're like, no, I just want these little like lights that go in my grill that look cool when I drive around town. Like, I don't really care about all the other stuff. So if we were stubborn about it, we would definitely still, Overland Depot would probably just be a side hustle right now. We wouldn't even have a business, I feel like.
Jeez, I love it. Talk to me about growing up. Have you always been like entrepreneurial?
No, actually, I have not always been entrepreneurial. I feel like I am someone that doesn't have a ton of motivation to like go out and do things and like accomplish things. And so it was really weird for me to start this business because it took a lot of willpower to like get up and actually do it and start doing it. I'm not the type of person that's ever since they were 5 years old, they were like hustling and doing this or that and knocking on every door in their neighborhood asking if they can mow their lawn or anything. I was never like that. I'm not like a loser or anything, but not a naturally just motivated type person. I'm not an overachiever by any means.
I actually love that. Because I get a ton of questions where people get the entrepreneurial bug like later in life or after they have kids or some life event will kind of spark it in them and feeling like, oh, well, I haven't always been entrepreneurial, so now I can't become entrepreneurial. And so I love that you're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I think I'd seen, like, I wanted to be successful, and I see people that were successful. Like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
Like, how do they get the willpower? And I just thought maybe it's not in me and it's just in them and they're like an anomaly or something. But I was on Reddit one time and there was this guy that posted in there in like an entrepreneurial subreddit. And he said, think about the people around you that are successful and like think about some of the people that you don't even like that are successful like these just little like weaselly snakes just like slithering around and making money and like just getting money that you don't have. And they're like, think about how bad that bothers you. Like that there's just these people that you know that you're probably smarter and more capable than, that are just doing better than you just because they're out there doing it. And that really hit me, because I'm like, gosh, all these other people, they're doing their own thing. They're starting their own businesses. Well, why can't I, you know? I'm like, I know that kid, he's doing well. He's kind of an idiot. That kid's kind of an idiot. She didn't seem like she did very well in high school and she's crushing it. Like, why can't I do it, right? And honestly, that hit me. I'm like, well, I can do it too if they can do it.
Right.
Yeah. So it was
Totally.
kind of just, then at that point I started listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos and dumb motivational things and stuff to just get my head in the right place.
I actually had a very similar experience where a friend of mine was starting a company, and I remember being like, you're not smarter than me.
Totally.
Like, I could do this.
I know all the stupid things that you've done.
Yeah, this can't be that hard. Okay, so then as you're starting, what do you feel like kept you disciplined?
It was weird. Right when you started, it was kind of sink or swim, because I was in a job that I wasn't totally happy at. I didn't feel like I was going to really progress there. And then my brother, he was working like a better job than me at the time with a big development investment company. And he didn't really like the job as much as he thought he would. And so my wife was kind of like, hey, you got X amount of time, make it happen, or you'll probably have to switch jobs somewhere else or something like that. And so as we started and it just gets traction, you have that feedback. And I thought that just kind of became addicting to me. Like, oh, if I post this, I get this. And if I do this email, I get this. And it just started coming and coming and coming. And there was nothing to do but just have to do it. Like, we had to fulfill the orders on our own. We had to do it on our own. And it became addicting. Just over and over having that positive feedback. It's like if a kid walks up to a candy machine, they twist the thing and some candy comes out, they're just going to keep doing it, right? Candy keeps coming out. And so that's what it was like with us. And so after having that feedback over and over, I'm like, hey, I'm just going to keep twisting this knob if more candy keeps coming out.
Yeah, you guys, I don't want to say you like fell backwards into it, but a lot of people work a long time to get like those first sales, and you guys just kind of had them immediately. As it grows, how do you deal with when things don't make as much money as you hoped, or if things aren't as big as you thought they would be? How are you dealing with that?
And yeah, it is interesting because we did opposite. We had the audience before we had the business. And so we went into the business with already a big audience.
Yeah.
And so
community kind of can solve a lot of problems, honestly.
I agree with that.
Like building out a community, people always like, how do I get sales? It's like, find your community. And to build out such a robust community and to give and give and give for so long and not ask for anything in return. I mean, it's kind of lucky that you didn't have people saying, yeah, you can use a code or post about it, because everything was like pure and people felt like, oh, we can trust these guys because they're not monetizing us yet. And then when you build the product, it's like, yeah, we're building this because we know we're part of the community. We understand. We know what the pain points are. And it's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. And we were able to provide a lot of value that wasn't out there that they were looking for. Like, oh, I can just go to this one site that has everything for my 4Runner Tacoma on it. And I don't have to comb through all these different websites and look at all these different brands. Because at that point, we had convinced a ton of brands to like be a wholesaler to resell their stuff. And so I don't even know how we convinced people at first, like these bigger companies, to work with us. Our website looked pretty janky at the time, but they believed in us. And I think that having the following helped a ton. But to go back to answer your question, there was a lot of things that didn't work in the beginning, or a lot of products that didn't sell well, but we wouldn't order a ton of them. And so just because we started getting hundreds and hundreds of products on the website, most stuff sold pretty decently. And if something didn't sell very well, we would just sell out of it and get rid of it and move on to something else. But it seemed like right off the bat, there was a lot of different subgroups within the 4Runner Tacoma audience that they would gravitate to one thing or the other. And so we were starting to sell more of the hardcore off-road stuff, as well as little tiny things that people want to throw in their car. And then some things just didn't do well, and we just phase it out. It wasn't like a really big deal or huge commitment with big minimum order quantities or anything like that.
Are you guys developing any of your own product at this point?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we develop some of our own product that's just totally like custom products, and then we also white label some stuff as well. And then we're a dealer for like 100 companies or something like that.
Oh, amazing. What's it like working with family?
It's actually really good because my dad, he is an entrepreneur and started his own company with my uncle, with his brother. And so that's kind of all we've known. And going into it, when I was first wanting to monetize my account, I was like, well, I don't really need a partner. And so I'm just going to do stuff on my own. But I don't know, not a whole lot happened at that time. And then just like look over at the desk next to me, because we were working with each other for a little bit before we went like separate ways with business. I'm like, dude, well, you have your following and I have my following. Like, it's just, we're both providing a lot of value. Because I think that some people go into business with people as a safety blanket, where they're like, okay, I need like 2 partners. We're going to go for it. Okay, well, do you really need that? Do you really need that person? Like, is he or she going to provide like a ton of value that you can't do on your own, or you can't hire it out? And so I think a lot of people jump into things with a partner just because they just, hey, we're doing it together, right? Like, you'll keep me accountable or whatever. But I just kind of think, well, if you don't have to, then maybe you should just keep the percentage to yourself. But because my brother, he provided a lot of value, he comes from a finance background, he's really good with numbers. I'm terrible with numbers. He had his Tacoma account, and like he saw in me that I had my account. I was more marketing, and so we both just fulfilled different needs. And I wouldn't have it other way. We don't get in any big fights or anything. We got the same vision. We're not greedy, and we both work hard. And it's worked out extremely well for us. But I know sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Do you feel like because your dad modeled it, you were able to, it was easier for you guys?
Probably. We were always close, and so that made it easy. But I do think that watching my dad grow a business with his brother, and they've always gotten along, like they've never even gotten in an argument.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well, me and my brother have gotten in some arguments, but after like 5 minutes, you're like, you're good? Okay, I'm good too. Cool,
Right.
let's roll.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that definitely helped watching him run his business, and they didn't have any problems. I think if my dad run a business with his brother and they had a huge falling out and never talked to each other again, which happens, then I probably wouldn't want to, obviously.
Right. You'd be a little more gun shy around it. What's the scrappiest thing you guys have ever done?
The scrappiest thing?
Yeah.
Well, we were in a basement for a long time.
Yeah.
And in that basement, it was just the basement of our dad's business. And down there was so many boxes and stuff that you'd have to walk sideways to get down the hallway, and so would his employees. And we were just trying to make it work and stuffing boxes wherever we could. And some people still find product in that basement that's like hiding in a box because they were everywhere. I have videos of it. It was insane. And so we were scrappy and just made it work. And we haven't moved out of a location until we needed to, and maybe sometimes too late. But yeah, in the beginning, there was nothing glamorous about it. You know, you were just making it work. And at the time, I remember like posting videos of like the boxes we'd send out and like flexing on Instagram. And now I laugh about it, like how far it's come and stuff. And I'm sure anyone who was running like a real business at that point was probably laughing.
No
Like
way.
with rap music in the background. I'm like, all these boxes are going out. But at the time, it's like the best feeling ever. You know what it feels like.
Yeah, no. I mean, one order when you're first starting out feels like 100 now. You know, it just feels incredible. Where do you guys do your own fulfillment still?
We do. For better or for worse, we do our own fulfillment. And I think that in the beginning, it made sense to do it on our own when there was so few. And then we grew just so quickly in a short period of time because COVID also really propelled our industry. Everyone wanted to get out. Everyone wanted to go hit trails. Everyone wanted to go camp. And so we were always just trying to like run, keep up. And so we never had that time where it's like, hey, let's go talk to a 3PL and see if that would be a better option for us, which it definitely would have been. But now we have just kind of kept up with it that we're at a point now where it makes sense to keep it in-house now.
Yeah.
And we're actually moving really close to here, those new warehouses just north of that Timpanogos Harley,
Oh, yeah.
just on the other side of the
By
freeway.
the Cook's Garden Center?
Yeah, just right next to there,
Oh, cool.
right there.
How much space are you getting?
We're getting 21,000 square feet.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Have you put your racking in yet?
So, yeah, we're just designing that right now and getting that ordered.
And then you have to have those people come put it in?
Yeah.
Like the city guys or whatever?
Yeah, drill it into the ground and everything. Yeah. And we're going to have a showroom too because somehow customers just figured out where we were, where we're just all online. But right now we're in Springville.
Yeah.
In a pretty small warehouse. And people get their packing slips and just see like, oh, they're in Springville. I'm just going to stop by and pick stuff up. And we're just not built for it in there. But they'll come pick stuff up and buy stuff, and it's become like its own thing now. And so we're gonna do a side area where a big showroom where they can like get into our rooftop tents, feel products, open it up, see what it's like. And there's a big Toyota community in Utah, so
That makes sense, actually.
yeah.
All the outdoor stuff. We would have people show up too, and it's like, we can't.
Yeah.
You need to put an order in online. We can't just pull stuff. It's like tricky because I'm assuming you guys have so many SKUs.
We have a ton, and that's the problem is that like 80% of our, because we're in a pretty small facility, like 80% is in stock in our warehouse that we ship out on our own, and then like 20% is drop shipped from like the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So someone could order a light bar from us, and then that manufacturer would ship it directly to them. And so they'll come in looking for stuff like, okay, well, half of it, like we got to ship to you, and then half of it you can pick up right now. And then yesterday, I'm so tired. I lay down on the couch in our foyer. Customers walk in, I'm just like sleeping. And I'm like, oh, it's never like set up to be like this.
Yeah.
And they kind of come in thinking, oh, it's 400 lifestyle or Tacoma lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like they want to meet us and they want to like walk around and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're just not really set up for it.
Yeah.
And so rather than trying to like hide where we are, we're just going to embrace it and have someone that works a storefront and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Backcountry did. They opened their showroom because people just show up to the warehouse and you're like, because I'm sure, do you guys have what do you use for your SKU system? Your pick system?
We use Info Plus.
Okay.
And it works well for us.
Yeah.
But in our industry, there's a lot of lead times, very, very lead time heavy. And so a bumper might be 14 weeks, light bars generally 16 weeks. And so that's a big competitive advantage for us is to just order more stuff and have it in stock and ready to go rather than drop ship it. And that's the big reason why we're moving into this larger warehouse to have more stuff in stock. And so for them, for customers, especially locally too, that is a big deal for them. It's not, oh, I don't want to pay for shipping and wait 3 days. It's, I don't have to pay for shipping and I don't have to wait 16 weeks to get my product.
Yeah, you can just come pick it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, very smart. Okay, I only ask men this question.
What's up?
How do you balance work and family?
pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I generally just get to work at 9 and I leave at 5.
Okay.
And I go home, have dinner with the family, help get the kids to sleep and whatever.
You guys have 2, right?
Yeah, we just have 2. And then, yeah, after that, it's chilling. I could hang out with my wife, watch TV, talk, whatever, or work, and she doesn't mind at all, doesn't care. I feel like after having 2, my wife, Cami, she just thinks I've been talked at. Like, the kids have been yapping at me all day. Hey, I just want to watch my show and chill out. Like, you can go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'll go to the gym sometimes at night, or I'll work late if I need to. But we built out a big enough team that I feel like I don't have to just be always working. Or like the other day, I was at the gym in the evening, and I was like, oh man, what could I do? Like, I listened to like a podcast while I'm working out, probably years, and I'm thinking, oh, what can I do to, get to the next level, or, post something else. And I'm like, oh, wait, we have people that do it now that we just recently hired, because I just not long ago, I was doing all the social media. And it's nice to get to a point where I feel like I can just help guide the ship rather than like working in the ship,
Mm-hmm. How many employees do you guys have?
We have 19 right now.
And that is fulfillment team plus office team.
Yes. And so it used to be very heavily warehouse, and that was pretty much it. And now we have like a much bigger office team, and we're hiring a lot more there. So we have probably 10 employees up front, like, so 12 including me and Carson in the office, and then 8 employees fulfilling.
Wow. So I've dealt with this a lot, but how do you differentiate and nurture the 2 cultures? Because there's 2 different cultures don't you feel like between your warehouse and your like front of house staff? Like, how have you guys figured it out?
No.
It's very hard.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And I could see why companies, it's nice to have it all in one place, but I could see why they don't, because it's a very different culture. And I think sometimes people that work in the warehouse think that the people in the front are just chilling, or they'll come up back from the warehouse and we're up there meeting and talking and stuff, and they think, oh, you guys like aren't doing anything, but we actually are.
Yeah.
Like, meeting and working. So yeah, that is a difficult balance, and sometimes there's been some problems with the culture there, because I think that they get a little bit tribal sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you had that?
Yeah, I mean, we do best when we have 2 locations. Right now we have 2 locations, and we have our office in one location. We have our warehousing in another location, and it works. It's easier when they're in the same location. It's hard because like your office staff will be having lunch and they're like, wait, where's our lunch? Or vice versa, and it's hard because if you have hourly employees, they're motivated differently than your salaried employees. And it's a hard culture to mesh. I've actually never figured it out.
Yeah.
My solution is 2 locations.
That probably just is the solution for us too.
Yeah.
We haven't gone there yet, but it probably makes sense, because sometimes I feel like the warehouse guys think they're getting the short end of the stick and everything, but
yeah, or vice versa, because your warehouse guys go home earlier and then the front of house guys are still there. And
yeah, that's fair too.
yeah. Or like when we're doing like anytime we're doing a warehouse sell, like the front of office guys have to be like, you guys are the workhorses. They still have a job that they have to do, and they can't like kind of take a break on it. So you have to be the ones that work it. And I feel like in the end, everyone comes together and works together, but even transparency into the jobs doesn't always work. It's an interesting challenge for sure.
It is a weird thing. And then our warehouse guys are backed up sometimes, and then we'll run a sell.
Yeah.
And then they get really backed up, and then they're like mad at the marketing team for running a sell while they're already way backed up.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, our job is to get people to the site. Your job is to get it all out. So like hire another person or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is like a little bit of pushing and shoving there, but it hasn't been too bad, but there has been times where I've thought, screw it, let's just have 2 different locations, even though it might make some things more difficult to do that for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Interested to see how you guys solve that going forward. What is one lesson that you learned early on in your business that's still true today?
Never stop marketing, I think.
Okay, tell me more.
So I think when started the business, I would just kind of do one thing or another, or kind of slack on one avenue and not nurture it. But over time, even when things are really busy and like our warehouse is backed up, shipping out orders, or things are really messy and there's some things we got to solve, just don't stop marketing. Like, don't stop marketing to like ease a burden in one area. Always go for it. Always be full send on marketing is a huge thing for us. SMS, email, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reels now. And anything you can do marketing wise, I would never ever stop. Just always keep going, no matter like what's going on in your business, no matter what turmoil or anything. Just keep marketing. Don't miss a time, because if you miss a week where you don't do an SMS push, you're never going to get that back. Next week you can't do 2 in a row, like 2 days in a row. You're over. You're going to get unsubscribes if you do that. So I think just always be marketing. That's always helped us.
Oh, I love that. We had my friend Clark in here a week ago, and he was like, sales solve a lot of problems.
Very true.
I totally agree.
Very, very true.
Yeah. What's some advice you would give someone just starting out?
My advice is just to not fear failure at all.
Okay.
I think that people fear failure or think what other people are going to think about them if they try to do this thing or try to start this or that. But in my opinion, I think that you're already failing if you don't do it and you don't try. So you're fearing failure, but you're already failing by not trying, because you're not even doing it at all. And so I would just think, don't fear it at all and just start and just do. Because I think that when I was about to start my business, I always thought, okay, I got to read this book first. I got to read this book. I got to listen to this thing. I got to watch this YouTube video. I got to talk to this person before I start. Everything's got to be perfect. And then 3 months later, I didn't do anything. Like, nothing happens until you do. And so just start no matter where you're at. And in one of your podcasts, you were talking about how when you started your business, it was at times like not everything was an analytical decision.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, some things I did, I look back and I thought, oh, wow, that was really dumb that I did it like that. But I just did it and I just went for it. And I think that's kind of like with me too. When I started, I think if I was too analytical, that I probably would get into problems and not really do. But now I look back, I think, wow, that was a really dumb decision. There was a lot of risk when I did that, and I didn't even realize it.
Right.
Kind of like you were saying.
Right. Do you feel like you were thinking you had to do all those things to like qualify to start a business, kind of?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was maybe just wanting another excuse to delay and just not do it. I'm someone, I don't really, it's kind of cliche, but I don't really think a whole lot about what people think about me.
Okay.
I don't think a whole lot. So like the fear of failure wasn't a big thing for me, but I know it is in a lot of different people where they fear what other people are going to think. But when I would listen to podcasts, I know that we're on one right now.
Yeah.
When I listen to podcasts or I'd read a book or talk to someone who's running a business, I would almost think that I am doing something to get there. Like, oh no, I'm going to do it. But I wasn't actually doing. And maybe it helped me, to hear those words and stuff sometimes to get motivated. But I just think nothing happens until you do. And I thought, if I read this book, okay, it's getting me one step closer, when actually I was just delaying.
Right. I love making lists, and sometimes I'll make a list instead of doing something. And I'm like, oh, I made a list. Totally.
Totally. Like, let's get organized. And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and then we make the list. but also just like sometimes you got to get work. I mean, there's a ton of different like times in your life when there goes your monster.
There you go. The first one down, guys. We're getting into it.
Is this your first monster of the day?
It's my second.
Connor.
My third will be the second half of the podcast.
Stop it.
No, I'm just kidding. But it is my second.
Do you have 3 a day?
2 or 3, but generally try to keep it at 2.
Oh my gosh. Again, you're young. When you get older, you have to figure this stuff out.
Man, it comes up quick.
It does, right? It totally does. Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, just getting started. Yes.
What was it like for you? Like, how did you just start? Did you have any like mental barriers or anything to starting, or did you just do it?
I think my barriers were around more feeling like I had to prove myself, like almost like, oh, I have to present like this perfect, because I didn't go to college. So I always felt a little inadequate to start a business. But now being here, knowing what I know, like I think college is a little unnecessary for businesses. And that might change in the future, but unless you're becoming like a lawyer, an attorney, a doctor, somewhere where you like have, like all engineers should definitely be going to college, like
For sure.
architects, like where you need like really strict training for businesses. I think sometimes it's a way to delay. If people are like, oh, I got to get my MBA or I've got to do like just start a business. But I think for me, it was more like, oh, I have to look a certain way. I have to have my cells a certain way. Like things, I felt like I had to present perfectly. And I got over that because at the end of the day, I think that the journey and starting someplace, like looking back at your videos of your like first 5 orders and being like, yeah, we're putting them out, you know,
Yeah.
it's fun to see progression, and it's so fun to see where you've come from and to like see how far you've come. And so when we started this podcast, like the first ones were so bad, like
Yeah.
they were terrible. But I forced myself to listen to them all, and I took notes, and then I got better. But I actually now love starting in a raw spot and just like going for it and having it be rough and then figuring it out along the way.
Yeah. For sure. I think back to like the building phase of a business, that is the most fun to me.
So
Like,
fun.
building out the website. Like I just did it on my own on Shopify, watching YouTube videos. Like that building phase and like building a brand and like logo and colors and everything like that. That stuff is so fun to me. Like it's always fun to go back to the drawing board and do that again. But yeah, I don't know. I think people just get held back by wanting everything to be perfect. And I think that people just kind of see the end result sometimes and they don't see the beginning phases, like when you were cutting leather and just like sewing it together. Isn't that how you're doing it in the
Yes.
very beginning?
Yes, all by myself, yeah.
Like, they just don't see that, you know?
Right, and I wouldn't share it because I was almost embarrassed of it, like, oh, I'm not where I need to be, or it doesn't look good. And now I think, you know, it's so fun for people to see, to be along for the journey and to see the progression, and let's like all celebrate it together.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because I feel like when you post those things and stuff, like when I do it sometimes, like you figure out like who's in your camp, you know, like who's cheering for you and stuff, and who kind of goes silent and doesn't really care, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like people that love you when they see you actually going out there and trying something and trying to do something, I don't know, I think they'll be supportive and be stoked about it.
Yeah, and going after stuff you want, I feel like that's the most inspiring thing. Like even if you fall flat on your face, it's like, cool, good job, you tried.
Totally.
For sure.
And I feel like so many people have business ideas they're just sitting on, you know? Like there's just something holding them back from doing it. Just do it. I don't know. Just go for it and just try it.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's just not as scary as you think it's going to be when you just start doing it, you know? It's like anticlimactic.
Yeah, like, well, now I've got problems.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of freaking problems.
I got cells, but I got problems.
And I hate solving problems.
You don't? You do?
I don't like solving problems.
Really? That's surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Does your brother like to solve problems?
No.
So what do you guys do?
We just do it anyways, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that.
I love solving growth related problems all
Oh yeah,
day.
for sure.
All day. Like, oh, we have too many orders to get out. Oh, sad.
Yeah.
Oh, like we're backed up on this inventory. Oh, sad. I don't like solving flat or even down related problems. That's not as fun.
Yeah, I think I'm like that too, where it's, oh yeah, we got a problem. Our warehouse is too small, like, or we have too many orders. Like, I mean, that's like an exciting problems, and I'm like, hey, order this, order that. Let's look at warehouses. Let's do this. And so I think that that's more fun. But when there's just, I don't know, supply chain problems or just problems with the website or little things like that, like, oh my gosh, does this really have to happen right now? I could be putting my mind towards other things.
Yeah.
But I know I have to solve those problems, but we have solved most of the problems. And so I try to just focus on our opportunities now.
Yeah. So cool. How many, did you tell me how many SKUs you have?
I don't even know.
It's wild.
It is a lot. It's a lot. And it's gotten to a point where our navigation on our website is not, I don't know, it hasn't grown with our SKUs. And so when there's so many different things and subcategories and random products, like, well, I don't want to have a whole like link in the navigation to just this one niche product that someone buys once a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of SKUs, but I think we've had a lot of problems with drop shipping. And so let's say like we're a dealer for a light bar company or a roof rack company or something. And they're like, oh yeah, we got it in stock. You just send us the order and we'll ship it to your customer. And you just take your percentage from it. Sounds super easy, right? I don't have the problem. And like drop shipping is like a big thing right now that everyone's talking about, everyone's wanting to do. But the problem that we have is that even these larger companies that in the beginning you think would have all their crap together, they're struggling. They've got supply chain issues. They're not ran very well. And so our customer orders it thinking they're going to get it in a few days. Oh, well, that rack is now on the 3-week delay and the company didn't tell us and we have no way of knowing when it's on a delay. And so bringing more and more stuff in-house is just a much better customer experience where they get their box and their doorstep 3 days later, they open it up, everything's in there. There's 10 different items from 10 different companies all on our website, all in one box. And that's the best customer experience. And so bringing more and more stuff in-house and less of the drop shipping is our biggest play this year.
Do you feel like then you run into cash flow issues though?
We haven't. Yeah.
Must be so nice. Jeez.
Not meant to be a flex. We just haven't. Like stuff just gets flipped super, super quick.
Okay.
And let's say there's this bumper that's on a 16-week lead time, and this is a real thing that just happened. Well, we got them all in stock 3 weeks ago, and we're like selling out of them and selling 100% more than we used to because everyone sees there's no lead time now that we're the only ones with it. And so they just like goes quicker.
And is that a white labeled or is that you guys manufacturing that?
No, it's just a brand that we resell. So just like Backcountry sells like Patagonia
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's just like that.
So you guys are mostly wholesaling other brands.
Yeah, probably our top 10 products are our own brand though.
Okay.
Like between white labeled stuff and then stuff that's ours that no one else has. Our top stuff is our own things. And so that's a big thing moving forward. We want to have an in-house engineer and designing stuff constantly and maybe even producing some stuff in our own facility.
Oh, you want to do production here?
Yeah. Because, I mean, the thing is, we have the platform, right? So Foreigner Lifestyle and Tacoma Lifestyle, they get a lot of traffic. And then a lot of the brands we're reselling, it's not a very complicated product, but a lot of people don't even know what that brand is if it's not super big.
Uh-huh.
And so we're more reputable than the brand we're selling.
Yeah.
And then it drives people to their site sometimes to research their products and stuff. And so if we have it in house, we could cut out the middleman, and I think a lot of people like our products, and so yeah.
Right. Wow. So opening manufacturing. That's next. Is that what's next?
Yeah. It's looking like it is. We've seen some companies that have done similar things, not to the extent that we're hoping to do it at, but
Yeah.
when there's products that you can just only buy on our website, because that's the problem we have, is that if we're reselling someone's things, and sometimes, I mean, a lot of the stuff we sell more than the actual company does of that specific thing. But when they're coming to our site and a lot of people will find it on our website and probably go, oh, I'll just buy it from the manufacturer. They probably have it quicker or whatever. They realize they actually don't. But yeah, if we have our own things that you can only find on our website, we see that as a huge advantage, or you can't get it anywhere else.
So how does that process look? You buy like a couple 3D printers or what?
Yeah, probably a CNC machine and some other technical machines. I don't even know how they work. But yeah, we'll probably move into that this year.
We manufacture here in Utah.
You do?
Yeah, our leather shoes. Yeah.
How was that?
I mean, we tried just because of the size and then the quality that we're trying to achieve. Like, it's the same price if you go overseas or if you stay here, and that's the advantage of going overseas. A lot of times is you're saving money. So we've always kept it in house, and it's great because you can turn stuff around so quickly, and you don't have to have as much on hand. The raw materials gets tricky, but it's fine.
And you have like reliable employees that.
Yeah. I mean, the hard part about manufacturing in the US is that for the last 50, 60 years, we've moved away from it as a country. So you lose a lot of the skill set that was here when we were a manufacturing country. And so pulling in like the deep knowledge is important and hard. So it's totally doable. You can teach anything. It's just.
And you've never done your shoes overseas?
Mm-mm. Well, we've done a couple orders. We've got them from China before. They were fine. The thing that you run into is like, we could make a run of 50 here. In China, you'd have to make a run of like 2,000. And then you're looking at sizing. It's just so, and then 2,000 would maybe even it wouldn't even fill a full container. And we ship, I'm sure you guys do too. You ship by container. And for our diaper bags, we can do 2,000 diaper bags in a container. Well, that's easy. We can move that in a month. No problem.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would have to do like 20,000 pairs of shoes in a container. That's almost a full year of shoes.
Yeah, totally.
So like, and one color. And so it's just so much easier to keep it here because we can do small batches in a way that we couldn't do overseas.
And how has like adding new items on your site been? Like adding those new SKUs, like diaper bags and different things like that. How has that been for you?
For us, it's been great. I mean, once we got really clear around who our customer was, it was so much easier. Because for a while, when you're first starting your business, unless you're really dialed in, which most people aren't, especially in product, you think, okay, here's my main customer. How can I chase them longer and how can I get them earlier, right? But we realized that if we chase them longer, kids, I mean, how old are your kids?
About 5 and 2.
5 and 2. And at about 2.5, they start to get very opinionated about what they're going to wear or not, right?
For sure.
And before then, they'll just kind of wear whatever,
Yeah.
And so at about 2.5, we lose customers anyway because kids want light up shoes, they want character shoes, they want something that represents them, and they no longer want to wear unless they love the moccasins, which some of them do, but a lot of times they're ready for the bigger shoes,
Yeah.
So we end up losing customers then anyway, and even going into like hard sole shoes, kids don't care, they still want Disney princess or whatever it is.
Yeah.
For my house, I had like a strict no character, no light shoes rule when my kids were growing up because I'm not a nice mom, but we are not doing light up. Yeah. So we were like, oh, we can't chase our customers with the shoes. And even with the diaper bags, like you kind of age out. Once you stop carrying diapers, it's like, well, we don't need to take a big bag anymore. You can just throw a couple of things in your purse and you're good to go, or keep it in the car and you're good to go. So we're like, okay, our customer is this mom. Hopefully we get her when she's pregnant, but she's going to age out of our products at 2 years and we're fine with that. So just getting really concentrated around what does she need in those 2 years instead of what product can we build to keep her longer. It's like, what more can we sell her in those 2 years? And that's when we saw a lot of success around introducing new product categories.
That's interesting. So you're just like, you're a customer now and we're going to get you now. And we're not going to grow with you forever, but we're going to just really focus in on your stage of life right now.
Yeah.
That's really smart. But something that probably not a lot of people would think about.
And it's complicated too because we're always having to get new customers. So a lot of times you can stay. I mean, I'm sure your guys' lifetime value is huge and you haven't even reached the bottom of it yet. Because you're thinking of a guy, if he's 20 and he starts building out Tacomas or Toyotas, he's probably going to have them till he's like 50 or 60, right?
Yeah.
And there's some like brand affinity there and it's nostalgic and all this stuff. We have like 3 years max with a customer. So it's like, where's the next batch coming from?
So that is an interesting thing because you'll probably have to purge your email list frequently and if people's grown out of it or whatever. But then as people, you might lose someone for a bit, but then they have another kid and then you're like, they're a customer again.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Or even they might gift for a long time post being part of our customer base.
Very true.
Yeah. So our email list's like 3 million and that rotates around.
Oh my gosh. I would love a 3 million email list.
Well,
that's insane.
I mean, but that's a lot of moms coming through and they're not all active, but yeah.
That's insane to me.
A lot of times once they move out of like the active 2 years and they'll come back at sales and buy gifts or then they become kind of the gifting customer, but that's not who we're talking to all the time. We're talking to mom as a mom.
Yeah. That is insane to have that many email subscribers. I'm not over that yet. I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't have that many, but yeah, we're growing.
Yeah, I think that outdoor, everyone wants to be outside right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you grew a lot during COVID, but I was talking to my friend and he was saying that last year, Target, the only category that really grew was luggage because everyone just wants to travel.
That's really
wild?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so just like leaning into that in a cool way.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What is your guys' audience mostly male? Do you know?
Are they what?
Mostly male.
Yeah, it's like 92% male or something.
Yeah. What are the age?
That's on Instagram. I'm not sure about like actually like the customers that are buying.
Oh, interesting.
But we do have a lot of female customers.
Yeah. Well,
like they're way into it too.
Most women make the buying decisions for the household.
For sure. And we'll do a lot of reels and stuff because there is like a majority male. And we'll do reels and stuff of like when a guy gets their package and they like hide it from their spouse or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's like always like 30 girls in the comments are like, no, this is what I do to my husband. I'm the one hiding all the 4Runner lifestyle or Tacoma lifestyle packages from my spouse. So yeah, we do have a lot of women customers and like we don't neglect them at all and want to come out with like apparel that are like women's apparel and stuff like that because they're extremely passionate about it too.
Oh, that's so cool. All right, you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, what's your favorite food?
Mexican.
Oh, really? Where?
I like Joe Vera's in Provo. Have you been there?
No.
It's really good, but
where is it?
I just grew up going there. It's on Center Street in downtown Provo.
Okay, what's it called?
They've been there forever. Joe Vera's.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't been. We always go to El Gallo Guero down there.
Oh yeah, I haven't been there in a while. But yeah, it's right across from the convention center.
Okay.
Hit it up. Chicken crepes.
Chicken crepes?
Chicken crepes.
Are crepes Mexican?
No, but it's like a fusion dish.
Connor.
It's like crepe enchiladas, way good. Their chips and salsa, bomb, best chips and salsa around.
Okay.
But
You
yeah,
take Jan there?
Yeah, I've been going there since I was a little baby.
Okay. Okay. Where'd you go on your mission?
New Zealand.
Oh, fun. Did you play rugby going up?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah. We played rugby every P day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Fun.
That's like the religion there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been, but I'll take your word for it.
It's rad.
So you're an All Blacks fan, I assume?
Yeah.
Big time?
Yeah. Every big like rugby World Cup I'll watch.
Okay. What's your favorite product that you sell?
Roof racks.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. They package really nicely and look really cool, and they're sexy and fun to ship.
Okay.
And yeah, we sell a lot of those. And
Do you like the way they look on the car?
Yeah, it's also the first thing you add to your car that it's like, well, what's that? You really notice it, and it really sticks out, and you can really use it. And I feel like once someone throws a roof rack on, like they're into it now, you know?
Okay. Do you go camping?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, of course.
Does Cammy go?
So I used to go alone, but then this year she went a few times.
Okay.
We did southern Utah, like Capitol Reef area.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of BLM land there that we explored. We did that for a few days.
Did you take the kids?
Yeah, we took the kids.
Oh my gosh.
And they loved it. They did good. Cammy's not a camper, but she went and did it. We're doing another like lesser known trail in southern Utah in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
She's not coming, but yeah, we're going with the company and doing that.
I don't know why I don't see you as a camper, but that's just I don't camp,
if you
so
see me
I
in the-
project it on everyone.
If you see me in the right outfit, like you would be like, oh, yeah, he's a camper.
He's a camper.
I can do it. I can throw my chocos on and take off the
What do you make
Nikes.
on the trail?
Food wise?
Yeah.
Steak and potatoes is easy. Kodiak cakes in the morning, of course. And then a bunch of trail mix, crap like that.
Okay. Just like a lot of snacks and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not like the most extravagant, like camping, overland food guy, but a lot of people get way into it.
I feel like my husband would be way into
I
it,
feel like he would too.
but I won't go camping with him.
You got to do it.
Here's the thing a lot of people don't know about me. I lived in Colorado for 4 years. I didn't go to college, so I was like ski bum. I lived in a tent one summer, like the whole summer.
What?
Yeah, there was like a little tent community.
Well,
We
that's
didn't
way
pay
more
rent.
hardcore than what I'm doing.
And you know what I feel like? I've done my time.
You
I
did
actually
that?
don't ever need to go camping again.
Yeah.
You can get the same effect in Moab in a hotel room. And then you're clean the next morning.
I get it. Or if you want to go glamping, you can rent one of those nice Mercedes Sprinter vans with like the whole setup in there.
I need to get back into it. It's just also so much stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things you got to buy, and then things you think of once you're already out there. Then you got to go poo.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like, I don't know.
Have you gotten the battery operated bidet?
No.
I'll send you a link.
I'm down for that though.
I took one to Europe, changed my life. It's just handheld, and it just like a little, like you just put it in your purse and go.
Just handheld.
Yeah.
So you got to point in a direction where it's not going to have some splashback onto your hand.
No, you'll be fine. It's battery operated, so it has like a really straight line, good nozzle.
That is so
I'll send you a
wild.
link. It's $20 on Amazon.
All right, I'm getting that.
Yeah, you just fill it up with water and go.
Big bidet guy. I've got one in my house.
Same, big bidet girl.
Yeah, I went to Tokyo one time, and I was a believer ever since then.
Yeah, changes your life. Are you into movies or shows? What are you watching right now?
Not really.
You know what? So many entrepreneurs are not. I'm not either. I
Really?
always ask though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to sit down and watch a show.
Me too. I don't know what it is. Maybe I am ADD or something.
I think
'cause
you are. Tell your mom.
I just can't sit down and just watch a show. I feel like there's just things that are just better for me to do. And I think
Yeah.
that since starting my company, I think my health has taken like a back. It's just,
I see you at the gym though. You're working out.
you see me getting after it. But that's like a newer thing where I used to be way into the gym and working out and health. And so I think that I'm on like a course of just like betterment and just trying to be the best version of myself this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got like my business down and like finances are good. Like that's all solid right now. But then I feel like I didn't focus on my health for the last few years. So when the kids go to bed at night, I don't really want to watch a show. I want to like, I'll go do cardio. I don't know,
You should do
watch some
75
motivational
soft.
videos.
Changed my life.
Did you do it?
Yeah, not hard though. Hard is toxic. I don't think girls should do hard. I think that your circadian rhythm gets way off and like
Maybe I should commit to that.
75 soft is easy because you get a rest day once a week. Well, you can do whatever you want. It's like you make the rules.
Yeah. And are you at the gym every day?
Mm-hmm. I go in the morning.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
I don't have little kids. My kids go to my kids drive themselves to school. Like I'm in a totally different phase of life.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you have little kids, you almost have to go before they get up. Or
How do you get the motivation? I feel like sometimes, and I hope you don't ever see me doing this, but sometimes I pull up to the gym and
you sit in your car.
just gonna sit here for a little bit. I might just go home now.
I
Sometimes it's hard to
actually
get
saw
out.
you do that. No, just kidding. I feel like if I have something, like I'm a huge accountability girl. So when I do something like 75 soft or like I have like a checklist, then I'm so much more going to get in there and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's on my list of things to do. But sometimes, I mean, all I can do is a couple of weights and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see you getting after it. Your headphones in, zoned in, locked in at the gym. No social reps. She just goes for it.
Well, our gym, who am I going to talk to? The old
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah. That's
Actually,
why I
do like
though.
talking to the old guys there. They're fun.
They've got some.
You know what I saw by the squat rack? I almost put it on social, but I didn't. Toenail clippings.
Ew.
Connor. There are toenail clippings on the floor by the squat rack.
I guess I'm gonna stop clipping my nails there.
I was so grossed out. I don't like that's so disgusting.
That's so gross.
And so disrespectful.
But like, why there? Like, why are you?
Why
even
do you
bringing
have
them
your
in?
shoes off at the gym? Put your shoes on.
That's bizarre.
Put your dogs away. No one wants to see them.
That's bizarre. I think the problem at our gym is people can go whenever they want and they'll go in late and just mess around like a lot of high school kids and stuff. But
it's probably high school kid.
That's actually gross. Like, why do you even have toenail clippers with you?
What's the owner's name?
There's a few.
I know. It's like the older guy.
There's Steve. There's Steve Lund and there's Steve.
It's not Steve Lund. It's the other one. But he told me he'll watch the camera sometimes and see who like leaves stuff and then kicks him out.
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Yes, he's serious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the guard there.
Yeah, I like him. Are you early bird or night owl?
Just like a little in between, kind of just normal.
Okay.
But if I had to say, like maybe early bird,
You like to get up early?
Can't sleep in too late.
Oh, have you always been that way?
Yeah, I think I get up at like 7:30 or something. It's not super early.
That's early.
Is that early? Okay, I'm an early bird. There you go.
I like to be in bed early. I like to sleep late. But that's how I like it.
Yeah, whatever you got to do.
What about any good books or podcasts?
This podcast, guys.
Thanks.
Obviously, there's a plug right there.
Thank you.
And it's kind of cliche because I feel like a lot of people read it, but Atomic Habits, I just read that. That
Oh,
was
it's
really
so good.
I really enjoyed that. And I also think that's part of your question earlier, like when you started your business, how do you just keep going? How do you keep going? I think it just became a habit where whether I like to do it or not, like it was just a habit. It just did it, And so I think habits are big. And so I've enjoyed that book, but I'm not a huge book guy. Podcast, I listened to a podcast called Mind Pump. It's like health and fitness related, but they also do some business stuff in there as well. And then I much prefer like local podcasts or smaller podcasts. I think that something like this where you interview people that are local, where it's like more applicable. Like, I don't really care about what the CEO of Amazon is doing. Rather listen to something like this is more applicable. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, but I don't listen to a ton of stuff.
I know. There's only so many hours in a day, right? How do you unwind?
I play a little bit of Xbox.
Oh, what do you play?
I play Halo. I play Forza. I really like cars. Like ever since I was really little, I've always loved cars. So I play Forza. The new Harry Potter game came out.
Oh.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
That's
Which house are
rad.
you in?
Gryffindor.
Yeah, right. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm in?
Slytherin.
I am.
Are you?
Yeah, well, actually, I take the test. I can get either.
You're giving off those vibes right now that you're a Slytherin. Seriously.
I can get either house. I can get Gryffindor or Slytherin when I take the test.
Are you like a savage in the business world?
Yeah.
Like, will you just cut off someone's arm to make an extra buck?
No. No, actually, I won't. I'm very generous. I'm very kind. But if you cross me, we're done, usually, is how it works.
Yeah.
I'll make, Abby
There
said
you
that I
go.
will make the person cut their own arm off. Yes, I might.
So you are a savage, because I feel like if you're a Slytherin, you're probably a savage in business, and you're like,
I can be either. Yeah.
not that you're immoral or anything, but like you go for it.
I
you know?
don't put up with a lot of stuff. But then at the same time, like if I know you and I love you, then I'll put up with a ton of crap. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you play what's my husband plays a game where you do the cars with a soccer ball?
Oh, yeah.
What is that called?
Rocket League?
Yes, he loves Rocket League.
I played a little bit of Rocket League.
And then my son is playing he does Fortnite, but he also does another first-person shooter game, which I can't remember.
Apex Legends.
Yes, Apex Legends.
I also play a really niche game. Well,
What is it?
for most people, it's called Splatoon. It's on Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
And you shoot paint at people instead of bullets.
Okay.
It's really big now, like in Japan and stuff. And it seems like a kid's game, but it's highly, highly competitive. It's so fun.
Are you big on do you stream at all?
No, I haven't.
Do you watch streams?
I do watch some streams on
That's
Twitch.
what my husband will lay in bed watching a stream. I'm like, what are we doing here? Do you guys have Discord channels for your business?
No, we don't.
I feel like they're so big lately.
They are big. I have one with my friends.
Yeah.
But I don't only just like play Xbox and stuff. I also mountain bike, I road bike,
Yeah.
and I snowboard as well.
Yeah.
So
Do you snowmobile?
I don't, but I would like to.
It's so dangerous.
That's the only hold up. You hear of like all these people dying.
Well, and my friend's brother is EMT in Park City, and he said they've pulled so many people, like so many people have been in accidents this year because of it.
I just think it's not worth it. Same with backcountry skiing. Not worth it to me anymore.
Once
I'm
you
like,
get kids.
Yeah, I'm kind of an adrenaline guy, but not to that extent. I'm like, it's just the risk to reward isn't there for me. Also, just a quick St. George, Utah trip where you can just drive 3 hours from here.
Oh, it's so nice.
That's all I need, I feel like.
It's so nice. Okay, last question. What legacy are you trying to build?
I think I'm just trying to build a legacy within my own family. Of just, I don't know, a good example to my kids and someone they can look up to and be a good like mentor to my own family. I'm not trying to like leave some huge world dent that a lot of people are. I just would rather be like looked up to and respected within my family and have good relationships with my kids and stuff, because I feel like that's where it matters the most. And so, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, thanks for coming on, Connor.
Yeah, I appreciate it.